What's up, guys? Welcome back to this channel. I wanted to make another video because the last one was kind of on a down vibes, kind of a low energy video on the reality of owning your own business, and that's kind of where we wanted to provide value on this channel. So I'm gonna really, try to really break it down to anyone new to starting their own business, to really show you the exact 8 steps that it'll take to get your idea into a reality. So we've owned this grocery store for about 4 years now, and the people that watch this channel on a more regular basis probably heard me say that over 100 times now. But for all the newcomers, this is what I do every single Monday. We make a video on small business, growing, owning, and starting one. And if you're into anything like that and you are interested in seeing more of that, please hit the like button down below and consider subscribing to this channel. We provide about 1 to 2 videos a week just on business in general, and especially small business. That's kind of what we do. While there's no businesses that are exactly the same, everyone has their own concepts, ideas, I want to break down the 8 steps that I truly believe will get you started on your business. If you can finish this video, it will put you in the better position that you were before watching it to start your own business. And that's kind of what we do on this channel. I really want to provide the inside scoop, because there's so many people out there with channels that they never really owned a business, and many of them do, and they'll tell you, don't do this in grocery, don't do this in coffee shops, don't do this. But speaking from personal experience, I have done it day in and day out, and I'm using this channel to provide that inside scoop that a lot of other channels can't. And like I always say, and I want to just keep grilling this into this channel, if you're going to start a business and take a huge risk, and starting your own restaurant, cafe, grocery, clothing store, whatever it may be, I need you to improve yourself and actually work in the field before starting in the field. If you've never worked in a cafe before, you have no business opening a cafe. If you've never worked in a restaurant before, you have no business opening a restaurant. Just keep that in mind. And I know people are going to say, oh, it's been done. People that don't have to work in restaurants to be successful. Yes, it's been done, okay? But the chances of failure, if you don't actually have any experience in that business, I don't know the exact stat, but they're 10-fold, 5-fold, whatever it may be, they're much, much higher. And you don't want that for yourself, because even if things go okay, you have no idea what it's like to work the day-to-day in that business. You may not even like it at all. You may hate it, because it may look great from the outside, being a barista, but then doing it every single day in your own business may suck, and you have no idea because you never did it. Get the experience before starting the business. Your investors will like it, your business will like it, you'll enjoy it much, much more. Keep that in mind as well. Okay, let's get into this video. Step number 1. I want you to be able to narrow down your business. So many people have hundreds of ideas, hundreds of plans, or they're waiting for this to happen or that to happen, or they need this amount of money. I need you just to sit down, narrow your idea down, and start with even just the business name will help you. This can be, a dream you always had that you want to see if it's going to actually be feasible to become a business. Or sometimes we have to realize dreams have to just be a dream, and a business has to be realistic and feasible, financially feasible, that is, in order to make money. So there's a really fine line you have to sit down and ask yourself, is this an unrealistic dream, or is this a true business that I can see myself doing for 5, 10, 15 years that will improve my future, improve my finances, and become something that I may do forever, or I may grow into an empire. You really have to separate your dreams sometimes and reality in business, because sometimes they really don't connect, and sometimes they do. For example, this is kind of one of my dreams. I wouldn't say it's something I grew up wishing I would do. If that's the case, I would be wishing I could do YouTube full-time, be a professional soccer player, stuff like that. But dreams and business, sometimes they don't clash. So I want you guys to sit down and narrow down a realistic business idea that you have, that you can see yourself doing that will financially help you out. Don't do anything crazy. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Narrow down a realistic idea. Okay, 2 things for this channel if anyone's new. This camera's new. I'm testing it out, seeing if it's worth the channel. You know, let's see if it holds its own weight and being part of this channel. And I do a lot of walking onto the camera. I like showing off the store a bit. You know, we worked hard on it. It's been growing for a long time. We're always changing things around. So yeah, you'll notice I do a lot of walking on the set. Some people like it, some people don't. I usually end up balancing the camera on a can or a jar, or you know, a stack of like napkins or something. It's all good. We keep things frugal around here. We're trying to make money. We're trying to save money. It's just beautiful. Step number 2, a business plan. Nobody wants to hear it. Not a lot of people want to do them, but I'm telling you, this is where you get serious and you actually put your idea onto paper to see if it's going to be a real business. Now, it doesn't have to be 10, 15 pages unless, you know, your investor or bank requires that. I usually like to say, you know, you can really summarize your business plan to 1 to 2 pages. And that'll take care of, you know, all the challenges you're going to come across, your main idea, where the business will be located, how much you know, financially forecast into the future, what do you think you're going to be doing month to month in the first 1 to 2 years. These are things people that will finance your business need to see. They need to see that you're actually serious and you're not just, you know, running around with new ideas. They need to see something on paper that makes sense to them, because, you know, it may make sense to you, but the people that are spending their money on your business or investing on your business may not see it the same way until you can finally break down that business onto a piece of paper and just show them, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going to go, this is how we're going to get there. Step number 2, very important if you want to have a real business that functions within, you know, your city, your state, your country. You need to find the proper registration, business registration that you need to complete. Honestly, this probably could take you 1 hour to 2 hours. It took me about 1 hour. This is, you know, your business name, who's running it, who, you know, what will it entail? Is it a food business? Is it a, you know, a new app? You need to figure out exactly what your business needs to be registered for. And that includes, you know, you need your licenses. For example, we needed a food and beverage license. Then we had to go to the health board, and you know, they have to inspect your premises, and you need another couple licenses for grocery. Also, don't forget, there's always the tax man, right? So you need to register your business with a tax ID. Ours in Canada is HST, and that's all run by the CRA, so we had to get that in order. So at the end of the day, you know, you really have to find out your business registration, figure out how to do that, figure out, you know, your licenses, which licenses you need to actually run this business legally, and then you have to register for your tax ID. These are things that, you know, cripple people because they don't understand how easy they are to do. A simple Google search in your area on, you know, registering my business in Ontario is what we did. That'll pull up exactly what you need to do, and, you know, getting your master business license is just part of that process. So the things that cripple people are the easiest things, because if they don't understand them, they think it's this vague, you know, theoretical concept that they don't understand. But you really need to just take those minor steps to get to the next logical, I guess, step, and you realize this stuff just keeps flowing and flowing. And exactly how I did it was, okay, I need this business license. How do I do it? Who do I talk to? And this is where we're at now. So don't get overwhelmed with, you know, this has to be perfect, that has to be this, that has to be this. Just realize, start step by step. Business registration, licenses required, tax ID. That's it. Okay, so you registered your business, great. Now, how are you going to fund this business? Step number 3 would be financing. Are you able to use your own personal savings to finance your own business? That would be the ideal situation. You won't have to rely on anybody else to fund your business. You won't have to give them any equity. You won't owe the bank any interest. You know, your parents won't be mad at you because you know, you're not actually making any money and they still want theirs. Your grandma's not going to be calling you wondering if she can have free tomatoes because she helped finance the business. The best solution would be to be able to use your own personal money to start your business. And that's why you'll hear on this channel, I always tell people to start small. You know, don't take, you know, a huge risk. See if you really want to do this thing long term. Maybe start at a farmer's market, or, you know, start small on the side just with delivering, or, you know, doing gift baskets, for example, instead of starting a whole-on store. So whenever you take on an investor or a, you know, a government loan, a bank loan, there's always the risk that, you know, when your business fails, you still owe this person or this, you know, government entity a ton of money. So that's just another risk you have to consider if you're willing to take before starting your business. There will be people that want their money back, and there will be a time frame to pay it. So just keep that in mind when trying to finance your business outside of your own personal needs. Acquiring financing is going to be, you know, the basis of your business. You need to find the right amount of money that you need to be able to survive, you know, the first year and a half where you're not making any money, just to keep yourself comfortable. Because there's been so many businesses that I've seen that, you know, they started with not enough money and they can't even make it 6-8 months without completely going to zero. And the main thing you don't want to do in business is go to zero, because then there's no recovering from that. There's no one that's going to be, you know, supplying you if you can't pay them. So just keep in mind to take out the amount of financing you need to start your business, but also to run the business for a year when it's very, very lean. It's not making too much. Nobody knows, you know, you exist yet. Just keep in mind that it's going to take a while to make any money at all. So that's why I stress, take enough financing, have enough capital that will carry you for a little while, because it's going to be a tough first couple years. There's really no doubt about that. And with that being said, the financing that you need will come from the business plan. Well, you'll have to provide the business plan if you even want a dime from anybody, because people need to see what they're getting into. They want to see your financial projections and exactly if you're experienced and how experienced you are in this business. The first thing I will tell you with people who are interested in financing your business: have you ever worked in this industry before? How much money are you putting up yourself? And let's see some financial projections, because at the end of the day, people lending money out, you know, they want to make money back with interest. So that's what you need to keep in mind. You know, it's very risky for people to lend money to a food business or any new business, considering the failure rates. So you really want to get those things in order before looking for any financing. Okay, step number 5, I think now we're at. Know your competition and understand the market you're getting into. You need to realize that your business needs to serve a purpose. Does it fill a void? Is it answering a problem? Is it fixing a problem? Don't start a business assuming that people will like it because you like it. It has nothing to do with what you like. Your customers need to be interested. If I only carried the things I like in this store, I would be out of business, because there's very few things that, you know, I really, you know, like that everyone of my customers likes. I need to cater to the customer. Just because I don't like fish doesn't mean I'm never going to carry fish, right? Make sure you understand the market is what I'm trying to say. You need to study the market, as in, does this business fit into this market? For example, our 5-kilometer radius around this store, there was nothing like us around. The competition is slim. That's why, you know, it has been working for as long as it has. The market needs to be fulfilled by your business. You know, you can't just come up with an idea and hope it works. Let's do some research around the neighborhood. You know, how many people were willing to support a grocery store in this area? How many people actually, you know, only walk, so they need to use a grocery store in this area? And what is the demographic of your customer? Age, gender, you know, socioeconomic status. You need to start figuring these things out on who your customer is going to be and how many times they can actually purchase from you. Because if it's a one-time purchase, how long can this business really last? So many things to consider when you truly understand your market, and if you have a business that will work within that market. Which ties into understanding your competition. You know, competition is great. It keeps you on your toes. It forces people to do better. You know, the prices that businesses are offering are fair. You know, it gives people a choice, you know, on who they want to you know, give their hard-earned dollars to. So that's why, you know, you have to understand your competition. Go to the competition coffee shops, the competition grocery stores. You want to research your competitors, study ins and outs, what works, what doesn't work, what seems like you can do it better, what seems like, you know, you may need to improve on your own business because they're doing it better. For example, you know, I studied another grocery store in the Toronto area, and you know, we need to get our inventory digitized to get everything online so people can order through curbside pickup right from their phone. That's what we're working on now because we studied the competition, and that's what we should have had done a long time ago. But it's just, you know, that kind of willpower to do something when you are so busy with a million other things. So again, that's probably an excuse, but you get what I'm saying. You need to understand your competition and the market, or else, you know, your business could be beautiful to you, but no one's gonna care. Step number 6 is finding the perfect location. And actually, you know, there is no perfect location. So let's say finding the right location that's within your budget. You negotiated the lease, your landlord is someone you can work with, you obtained a lawyer to negotiate that lease. There's so many things that come in finding the right location that, you know, it really goes beyond the scope of this whole video. But think about not just the rent payment on the location, but all the money that goes in month to month for that location. Internet, utilities, you know, just, you know, the taxes, the common fees that will come with on top of the rent. You really need to focus on the month-to-month payment for that location. Is it going to be too big? Is it going to be too small? You don't want to outgrow it in 6 months. Is it going to be, you know, the right customer base? Is there people around there? Is there foot traffic? These are all things you need to study before picking your location. Don't just go in and pick any location because you think, you know, oh, it's busy, it's a busy road. Sometimes busy roads are not good for, you know, a small independent cafe or grocery store because people just fly by it. Is there parking? There's just so many things you need to consider for finding the perfect location that you should be studying the locations nearby to see if they'll work for you. Sit down in a parking lot with a potential spot for 4 or 5 hours and see how many people are around. See how many people are opening the doors to the businesses around you that you may be, you know, competing with or complementing. So just take your time to find that location because that could be the make or break of your business. So step number 7 will be making sure you're properly insured. And this will be different for any business. Some businesses will require certain insurances, some businesses won't. Depending on the country or state or province you're in, these insurances will vary from, you know, as little as, you know, you don't need as much insurance as one state to you need a full-blown plethora of insurances in another state. I can't specify that for you. Just, I know for us, we needed liability insurance, our landlord required contents insurance in case there was, you know, a fire or anything like that. So it really depends what type of business you're in. For food, you know, we took liability insurance in case someone, you know, ate something bad or slipped and fell on one of these floors. There was a lot to consider, and most insurance packages will cover you in the basis for your industry. It's just working with the right company that, you know, you've done a little research for, that you can trust that they'll provide the proper insurances for your type of business. So make sure you're covered in that sense as well. That's something I didn't really think of until, you know, we were, you know, into the renovations and everything like that, and I realized, you know, when this business opens, I need to have insurance. And even before this business opened, because everything we owned was in here and everything was already going, there was contractors, you just need to be insured in general. Just like a house, a car, you know, your life insurance, your health insurance. The last step, the honest step, you have to really sit down with yourself and say, am I going to be able to do this for the next 5 to 10 years? Because when you start a business, sign a lease, invest a bunch of money, get loans, it just doesn't go away when you're done with it. You can't just quit, you know, you can't just say, I want to go do something else. I mean, you always could, but there's a huge, you know, burden that you have to take care of. You know, the money's lost, the lease is still signed by you, you may have personally guaranteed this lease. It doesn't just go away when you're done with it. You know, many businesses close because they run out of money, or, you know, the owners can't do it anymore. But realize if you start a business, it's like a long-term thing. It's 5 to 10 years of you growing and just pains, gains. Hello.
Hello.
Just telling them that it's a long-term thing. This is not something that, you know, you'll do for a couple months and then, hey, we struck a rich, sell it to someone else. It's just not how it works. So can you truthfully sit down with yourself before starting almost anything that I mentioned before? Say, can I do this for 5 years? Can I actually live a normal life for 5-10 years? And that's exactly the question we asked ourselves last week. How long can we truthfully work like this, where it's, you know, a 24/7 gig, before saying, you know, it's probably time to let someone else try at it? Consider that before even starting, because it's going to be like raising a kid from literally the ground up, if that makes sense. Crawling, walking, running in independence is a long term gap in between those two. So keep that in mind, and thanks for watching this video. Yeah, we're gonna head home because it's been a long day. Have a good one, and all the best to you and your endeavors.